Hey, what's up guys? I got a new list for you. This is kind of a deck idea that I've been kind of jostling around with a bit for a while, and I finally put it down on paper. I made it this evening after I got off work here, and the deck idea revolves around a couple cool combos, so I'll go about explaining them in a moment, but the whole premise is Ruthless Mastery, Hero Buu. You have when entering combat effects, and there's a really cool card that I've always liked, Red Inferno. Now, Red Inferno, what that does is it's an attached card that, when attached, whenever you reveal a card from your hand or you banish a card from your hand, you get to use a critical damage effect. Now, Broly traditionally has always been the guy that you use this card with. It's like a staple in Ruthless Broly. Now, I thought, why not try to use that and abuse that with some when entering combat crits with Buu level 1. Of course, Hero Buu level 1 says when entering combat, you tutor a name card to your hand, then you banish it. And so this Red Inferno combination gives you access to out of combat crits, or sorry, when entering combat crits rather, which has a lot of cool little applications. You know, being able to throw off your opponent's sequencing by lowering their anger, being able to kill an ally, take a Dragon Ball. So I kind of built the deck around wanting to camp Buu level 1 with that combination. Now this deck can go up if it has to. It can happen. Almost all the anger gain in the deck is kind of like optional, and there are ways to lower your own anger with your own effects. If you do go up, it's not the end of the world. Sometimes you're going to want to go up. So this deck can definitely kind of play with leveling if it has to, but against more of an anger matchup or anger decks, you're probably a lot of time going to just concentrate on using your effects to lower your opponent's anger. Like I said, really cool combination is the Red Inferno. The real cool combination I like is the Red Inferno when entering combat crits. Not to mention, if you enter, or when you're in combat, you can reveal a card your mastery to get a crit as well. So a lot of critical damage effects, a lot of control with that. I've run 7 Namek Dragon Balls because Red has Red Bribe, and the Namek Dragon Balls are just the best balls to run. So it's a win condition. You can definitely go for beats with this deck, and PvP is not on the table because it's Hero Buu. He does not have PvP available to him with the current level 4, or if he uses speed level. It's really cool. Red has great ways to fetch attached cards, great ways to not only fetch Dragon Balls that have synergy with Buu, but also ways to use mean effects of balls, and with the amount of crits that you get for free, there's kind of like, you don't really have to dedicate a lot of cards to crit slots, so I figured it's a really cool deck. I have a couple other ideas with Red Buu specifically that revolve around neat little combinations with attached cards and stuff, which I'll be making another list for at some point here. But anyway, we'll get into the meat of the deck here. 3 Inferno, it's the main combo card I want. I have ways to tutor this card out, but 3 of it, worst case scenario, it's a deck filter, it's another draw, so not the worst thing in the world. I don't mind my deck getting kind of filtered out so I get the balls faster. We have Boost Company. I run it 2, would run it at 3 if it wasn't a non-styled. I like the endurance on it. The biggest thing is that you're going to probably tutor it first to get your allies going. What I do like about it is that if you do draw it and your allies get banished, it's a way to get your allies from the banish zone, which is kind of one of the bummers, is that unless you go to level 2 on Buu, you're not going to be able to get your allies from the banish zone out. So again, there's reasons to go to level 2. It's possible to do it. It's not like super hard unless you're playing against hard anti-anger. But if you're playing against hard anti-anger, you probably just go on ball anyway. But really good card. Yeah, nothing more I can say about this. I would run it at 3 if it was a non-styled. Time is a Worst tool. And Red Stop are the final 2 events of the deck, so I run 4 different events total. With Red Stop, its Omni Block is really why it's there. It's banish abuse, so it doesn't get in the way of your mastery. Of course, Red Ruthless Mastery says in combat that you can reveal a card from your hand if it's styled. Place the bottom of your life deck. If you do, you get to play the top card if you just compile its attack. So this Red Stop, what's nice is I can throw an attack. I can Red Stop to block an opponent's attack on the next action, and then I can, you know, it sets me up for the mastery again. The Time is Worst, of course, is a staple. I got Red Flea, Red Brace. Both these cards are mostly in here for endurance. Now, all my blocks other than Stop and Time have endurance, which means if I'm taking them as damage, I can banish them. Again, another nice thing about Ruthless Mastery is that I get to reuse attack cards if they end up in my discard pile. With the blocks having endurance, that means that I could banish them for endurance, so that way they don't sit on the top of my pile, so that lets me easier access to my attacks. But Flee and Brace both lower my opponent's anger. That's what I was really looking for in them, and they have a ton of endurance. So both do raise my own anger here. But yeah, all around solid. Disregard, quick block, and reverse my 3 physical blocks I run. It's a little bit more physical meta in the most part. They all have pretty decent, they all have endurance, which is good, so they do work against energy decks. But they all have really good effects. Reverse, we'll start with reverse, I guess. This card is an attach card. Now, what's really cool about this card is, while it doesn't attach if I banish it with my level 1, I have Red Downward Blast in the deck. So I can use this card here to grab attach cards, so my discard my Banish Stone. Well, I can banish it with my level 1 if it's in my hand, and then just go play Downward Blast to go play it and attach it, which is really cool. Disregard has a when banished effect as well. What's cool about this card is that I can give myself anger if I want to slime up when entering combat, for whatever reason, if I need that anger. Otherwise, it's a card that cleans up my pile with the immediate effect and can proc my other when banished effects. It's a really good card. And then quick block is mostly there for the anti-anger. That's really why it's here. In the matchups where I really need to curb anger, I can just, all these little bits of anger that I generate from my attacks naturally and some of my effects, I can just pitch it all away to lower my opponent's anger as a defensive action, so really, really strong there. We get into the attack cards. I opted to run Candy Beam because my level 1 tutors named cards. I really think you're really missing out if you're not running Candy Beam. I know TJ, for example, Cochran, I know he doesn't run it in a lot of his, at least in his Hero Buu build. With Mischievous, for example, mostly because it's just trying to get company. I know a lot of other people just run company. Those decks, of course, are more beats oriented, but with this deck, Camping 1 especially, I really need to make sure I have a lot of name cards. Because of the fact that it grabs a name card, there's some really cool combinations with name cards in like Red, for example, has a lot of cards that are considered named. That's, again, different deck idea, like a Beats Buu has a lot of potential with this level 1. Gonna be a different list, different deck for a different time. I'll definitely be making, so be on the lookout for it. But it's a tutorable board hate card, nothing more to say than that. Of course, I run the 3 setup suite with it. Candy, chocolate, and cookie. Yeah, works really good. I have Optic Blast in as well because it matches where I need to capture a ball. It's just an extra bit of oomph. Worst case scenario, it's a 6 life card attack with some endurance. But it's a good card overall. Helps me clutch the Dragon Balls when I have to really cap them. We have Enter Twin Beams because it's an anti-anger card, and it lets me get, with the parenthetical effect, it's just amazing on this card. I always talk about how great this card is. This is like one of the best fan-made cards, I think. One of the most balanced and good cards. I love this card. But great anti-anger, not banish after use. Amazing parenthetical. Lets me get some free effects, potentially, so really good. We have Expunge. This card is really cool because I can banish it when entering combat to lower my opponent's anger. If for some reason I don't want to actually play it, or I really need that extra anti-anger, so I can, when entering, it's just such a great card. I can potentially lower my opponent's anger 5 with it when I play it if it crits, so just a really cool card. And again, I'm just trying to focus on anti-anger more than anything, so I really like it at a 2. Downward Burst, again, this card's at a 2 because I need cards to be in the discard pile Banish Zone for it to get effect. It's not banished for use, which is good. I can always potentially rejuvenate or replay it with Mastery. So that's pretty cool. Again, it's a big, hefty cost to get the attached card, the lower anger 3, but it raises its own anger 1, or raises anger 1 already, and I have things like Twin Beams. I got anger generation on my level 1. I have anger generation from all these cards, just all my active cards. So it's not impossible. It's a big cost, which deters a lot of people from playing this card in a lot of decks. But I have ways to pay for it. So, and then I go, and again, this has combination, great combination. It can help me, get company out if for some reason I lose it or need it. It can help me get Inferno back on. It helps make sure that I keep Inferno, because Inferno does get banished when it gets knocked off by critical damage. And then it also has a cool combination with Reverse, where I can pull Reverse out to get a little extra damage on it. and make couple of my attacks do more damage. So that's kind of neat. That's why I ended up opting to actually run reverse. We get into my 1 physical attack at 2 of it's a red ejection. This card is really good if you get Dragon Balls out. You can do a ton of damage with it. Because AT plus X life cards and X's number of Dragon Balls. It's kind of a late game card. You're going to see this, you're going to reveal its mastery, get back in your deck, you're going to put it at the bottom of your deck, you're rejuvenated on passing, because when you get to late game where you get a few Dragon Balls out, if you're able to play this card, your AT as Buu already gets up to F, and if you have, you run allies in the deck so you can redirect stage damage, you have really good stage game with like Ball 6 being in the deck and other things. And just having monster AT, there's gonna be matchups where you can really get this card to like come in for pretty big damage. Potentially, I mean, on average, you're probably gonna be throwing this card for maybe like 5, 6, or more life. Is really easy to hit with a couple, even with a couple Dragon Balls out. But the real awesome part of this card is when you reveal to your mastery to play this card back. If you have like 4 or 5 Dragon Balls out, I mean even like 3 or 4, they're just going to be taking a bunch of damage from this card, which is super cool. It's just a really nice end game kind of nuker card. Really cool. I love this card. I used to love it in Ruthless Gohan ally that I used to play. That was a ball deck. I got the idea from David Spencer. He like sent the list to me and stuff. His like, I like made a version and he kind of like told me his version, and it was pretty similar, granted, but it was a really cool deck suggestion that he had put up, and he stated it was the best deck set 7. But anyway, really cool combination there. So all the attacks, have a really good purpose. Most of the blocks are just generic. They're endurance. Most of them I opted to try to get some sort of anti-anger if I could. The physical ones are the real ones that actually have a combination. Red stop makes me want to play more drills. I currently don't run a lot of drills. I'm more setup. I'm pretty much all setups and Dragon Balls. Which there's a lot of cool potential stuff that can happen here. But again, this deck's more of a ball. This is like a ball beats. There's a lot of tinkering that this deck can do. But definitely every attack I think is really interesting, is really cool. Most of them are all reusable, which is really great. The only ones that are banished after use I think are the Optic Blast. Otherwise, if I have a way to rejuvenate these, or for whatever reason I need to recur them, or double use them with the Mastery, they're there. So we get on to the 7 Dragon Balls. Dynamic Balls are just super strong. Nothing more to say than that, just really strong effects. Dragon Radar, of course, lets me play a ball. The 3 setup cards, boost setup cards, each one is a different board hate card that you grab with candy, depending on when you need them. These cards at worst, they're another name card. I can sit there and I can tutor with my level 1. Having them in the deck to be able to get that crit. So again, I have 8 name cards in the deck right now. I think that's enough. Again, I think it's enough. Ideally, there's gonna be points where this deck might run out of name cards to tutor on one, so that's just a consideration. We'll see how it goes. Yeah, ideally you don't want to be. Your crit count is low, so you're trying to really make sure that you hold them for when you really need them. There's not really any other name cards I really felt like I needed to run in this, so. But yeah, they all serve their purpose with Candy Beam. And then we get into the other setups. The styled ones are, of course, going to be 3 Relaxation. It's another crit when entering, just another way to get your balls back. Another just combo it with Red Inferno, double crits when entering combat, but 2 anger lowering, double ally kill, whatever, ball take back. So really good. Plus it puts a card in your hands. 3 Panic, because this card is a card that you're going to want to banish with your Mastery, or Red Disregard to get a Dragon Ball, sit down a Dragon Ball tutor. Not to mention this can grab a drill from any zone. I made the mistake of I don't have his named drill in here right now, and I literally just thought about it. I just made this deck a little bit ago, and started recording right after I made it, and I need to throw Buu's Absorption drill in here. That card needs to get in here. I'm not entirely sure where I want to put it yet. I'll probably cut like Disregard, or probably cut like Reverse down to like, probably just cut Reverse down to like 2, maybe entirely. I'm thinking about cutting Reverse entirely because it's just so niche, but probably probably just cut this card entirely to fit Absorption Drill in as well, but this card can grab a drill from any zone, and it gets a Dragon Ball if you banish it with your Mastery when entering combat. So really, really cool, or with discard. Premonition, this card at 2, oops. Like I said, I do have the ability to level, and if I naturally level, I can use this card to give me some extra comboing potentially. To either let me use my level 1 power, different levels powers by going down, or what I can do is I can reveal this card on my Mastery to go tutor Red Stop or Red Inferno. Whether I need another block in my hand, or if I want the Red Inferno back on, it's all I can grab those both this. But the active effect is super awesome. Again, anger deck or some sort of deck that I need to knock off a level, I can play this and use this as the active effect. Really, really good card. But 2 of, because it's not always going to be something I need or want. Bribe, 2 of, great card, super strong. I run it at 2. It's one of the reasons why you want to run Namek Balls in red, because you get to use the fact again. It's just at a 2 because I have to have a ball out to get it, to make it useful. So. I run 1 forward stance drill. I can grab it with Panic, and I can grab it with Red Stomp. So that's why it's in there. Like I said, I need to fit use Absorption Drill. I literally forgot about the card when I was just throwing it together, this deck together. I feel really silly that I did. That card needs to be in here, because that's also an Omni-Block drill and a potential hand filter drill. So, but yeah, that makes it in here. If I was going to put that in right now, I'd probably just cut reverse down to 1 of. Yeah, maybe even cut Premonition down to 2 of. Panic and Relaxation I think need to be at 3 though. And then I have B and Hercule because you gotta run them because boost company. But both B, of course, letting you use every personality power of yours you can use twice, which includes your allies. So I get 2 uses on my level 1 or whichever level I'm on. And then I can use Hercule twice, and if I use Hercule twice, he gets a nice little secondary effect if I use him twice. But the main thing is you're gonna try to get Hercule and B out, and you're just gonna try to stabilize. You're gonna do a lot of these little couple life card attacks with your level 1 and Hercule, but you're gonna use those 2 to just constantly control anger. Either you can raise your own anger, or you can lower your opponent's anger. So because of the fact that all the anger effects are so versatile, you're just going to adjust on the matchup. There's going to be games where your anger deck, okay, cool. I'm just going to use my level 1 to lower their anger, use Hercule to lower their anger. You got things like Quick Block. You got Dragon Ball 2, which can lower an MP level. Whoops. You got Red Premonition, which can lower an MP level. You have Red Bribe to use Ball 2 again. There's just so many lower anger effects. I mean, I've not even mentioned them all yet. But you have a really good level in anger control. If you want to go up because you want to try to chain beats a bit, Buu's, he gains anger. If all my allies get banished and I want to get them back, I can go to level 2 to get my allies back from the banish zone. Not to mention the -1/-1 modifier, and of course Buu 3 and 4 are just both really, really strong. If for some reason I need to get there, or I end up there because of B getting banished or something. But yeah, deck seems really cool in theory. Like I said, I got to get Absorption Drill in here. I'm gonna put it in. I'm probably just gonna cut a reverse down to 1 of. There's definitely some interesting stuff here. There's always more cards that can always fit in. Red Glare is another card. It looks really cool. It's a setup, but it doesn't do anything really overly that I need. I just thought this would be a really cool deck. Maybe you can find some cool combos with it for a ball version that I'm not seeing. I don't play a lot of red ball, honestly. I mostly just kind of know roughly how it works, just in terms of playing it. I don't really like to play red ball that much, but I thought this would be just kind of interesting. But anyway, guys, hopefully you're getting out there still. There's still plenty of cool combinations, whether it's a little gimmick combo or not, that you can always just try to make a deck with. And worst case scenario, maybe it doesn't end up being the best thing ever, but it's just another little arsenal, tool in the arsenal, that you can kind of whip out, every once in a while when you're deck building. But I think Red Buu has got to have some merit to it, and I think while it's not the craziest combo and best combo ever, the Red Inferno combo, again, maybe leveling Buu is just still ultimately better, but I thought that was just really neat, and I want to try the combination. I love the red Inferno cards, so guys, get out there, test, give me some feedback if you play any of this stuff. Yeah, I'll be keeping trying to release some more deck lists here and there as I go. I'm trying to do more stuff with Buu and some of the newer MPs, and I'll probably go back to some elder ones or people that I don't see a lot of play with, and try to do some stuff for them. But guys, take it easy. Peace.